Okay, getting the first pick.
Oh, get three, Pyro, get three with the
Blade Kid putting on a clinic. 14 down. Oh!
Experience tranquility.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Overwatch Tranquility Tournament. Tonight, we're going to have a spooky good match for you because we have Phantasmal going up against Ultraviolet. We're about halfway through the stage, and both of these teams are looking for their first win. I am K-Wing, and I'm here with the one, the only Door. That's right, I am such a bad caster that the only other caster that they were willing to work with me was just a door someone painted a face on. I am, of course, joking. How are you doing, Door?
I'm doing real well, man. I can't wait to kick this one off. I mean, no less. You think you're gonna do bad? Just wait till you see my color casting. It is something to speak about. But speaking of things that aren't necessarily doing the greatest, let's look at these teams. Both 0-2 currently. We have Phantasmal taking on Ultraviolet, of course. Ultraviolet manned up by Sunless Fire, Pierre, Karma, Bokum, Malalia, and Rainbow. This team needs a little bit more juice to continue on. I don't know what you've gotten to see of them, but it hasn't looked great so far. This new meta, though, could put a real shake into everything that these teams want to do. I mean, it's effectively the quick play meta. I'm walking around, people are playing Hog Zarya in all my comp games. I don't really appreciate it, but maybe these teams could use the shakeup.
Yeah, absolutely. I know, if you're 0-2 like both of these teams are, any sort of meta shakeup, especially one as giant as this one, is gonna be good for you. You're gonna want to see this sort of something new because maybe you can flip it on its head and you can flip everything on its head. So our first map here is gonna be Ilios. Ilios, as I always like to say, the favorite map of Reddit Lucios, going into the backline, getting those boop kills into the well, off the side of the lighthouse, what have you. Just so much you can do. What are we thinking for comps here, Door?
I mean, it's a Clown Fiesta Central. If you're ever looking for somewhere to run your jank quick play compositions on this patch, this is the place. Although I do think it's going to be fairly weighted towards dive. The double shield was nerfed significantly to the point of almost insignificance. I expect to see a lot more Monkey. I expect to see a lot more Zarya, especially when we get to Ruin, though. I expect to see a good bit of Reinhardt, throw a little bit of Brawl in there. I think these are going to be teams that try to fall back onto the things they know more than anything, rather than switch things up and go for those crazy compositions. We already see Ultraviolet locking in a little bit of the Chinese dive, Zarya, Winston. Not too scary. Phantasmal, though, they're getting a little bit more avant-garde, if you will, with it.
That is a word for it there. We do have the Pharah, the Ashe, the Sigma Hog, as well as the Ana Lucia. That's a really interesting sort of comp there. The Pharah, pretty hard to counter, especially at these lower elos, as we are in our Harmony division here. So it's a bit harder to counter that Pharah, but we do see both sides on that Pharah now. So it's going to be interesting to see which Pharah is going to be best. We do see the Mercy on the side of Ultraviolet here. So we're going to see what happens when we get into our first map of Lighthouse here. Let's go.
I mean, the Mercy would be the obvious difference. Now, Sunless Fiber, okay, swaps on over. It's all about the tanks here and now. We're looking for somebody to be able to take the Pharah out of the sky just a little bit in that battle, or take out the support line. Both of these Anas are very, very vulnerable as we approach the point.
Anima goes very, very low here, but Titan is going to go down as well here. That is a huge first pick there. That Ashe is going to be the only thing that can really deal with the Pharah Mercy combo in the sky, but Rainbow gets slapped out of the air. Oh my gosh, that was amazing there from A-Woodies there with Sleeping Rainbow out of the sky. But Doggos getting 2 picks on this Pharah, just being so dominant here, and it's going to be up to Pierre to try and shut that down, using that cover so well here, trying to get away from being in Pierre's crosshairs there, getting the drop on to that other Ashe there, but it does look like the Sunless Fiber are going to take the pick onto Anima, though. It's going to be scrappy on point here, but they're going to take, Ultraviolet is going to take the point here, but their picks coming in for Phantasmal here. This fight still isn't over yet. Monk going to get hit by the anti-neighbor. Going to see what is going to happen here. Zatnu getting the pick onto Sunless Fiber there. Might get res there. That could be important, but it does barely get through. Picks coming in on both sides here. Oh, but the Pharah getting the pick up on Woody's there. This isn't over yet for them. Oh, Sunless Fiber getting 2. Both the healers going down, but the Roadhog just comes in with that hook and says, hey, how you doing? This point is going to go to Phantasmal.
I mean, the concussive blast was nearly enough to save it in its own right, but now look at Ultraviolet. They're coming in with plenty of ultimates. That got staggered out so long that we're looking at 40% for them. It's been a pretty good fight. The ultimates are dead even, but the one thing you want to be watching for is these Pharahs to get shut down. Whichever Pharah gets the better barrage off is more than likely going to be winning the point for their team.
Yeah, absolutely. Barrage is such an important ultimate, and even though the time did get nerfed a little, the general consensus is that it's a good change. Both picks are coming in on both sides here. Monk getting 2 picks on this Roadhog, recently buffed here. So much more powerful here. Gonna get slept by Sunless Fiber. Is going to go down with that barrage. That is so crucial there. That barrage, as I said, such a horrifying ultimate to deal with. Rainbow is going to drop down as well, falling off the side of the map, and that is going to be Phantasmal taking another fight here. They're passing what Ultraviolet got in that first fight. They're doing really well here.
Yeah, the ultimates are relatively even still, but Ultraviolet refused to press any buttons in that last fight. They didn't want to press Q. They didn't want to commit to anything, and now you're left with Phantasmal with 6 ultimates on the board. This is looking fantastic for the blue side to try and take this one, albeit if they lose Sunless Fiber early in the fight again, that's almost a death sentence in and of itself.
Monk uses ultimate and then gets slept immediately. Good play there by Malalia there, but oh, Dogos with that barrage gets 2, 3 picks with that Pharah there. That is what we are talking about, just how scary that barrage ultimate is, but still, Sunless Fiber has that ultimate. Valkyrie gonna be coming in from some pre-fudge as well here.
No surprises so far outside of the fact that Ultraviolet still haven't really wanted to press those Q buttons. They've got huge ultimates. How long is Sunless been holding on to this barrage for? At some point, you just got to pop it. They've got the advantage in this fight. They need to carry it on into the next.
Absolutely, they really need to do this here. It is the last fight for them. If they don't do this, they get nothing here. Sunless Viper pops the ult and just goes down. Dogos gets the pick immediately. That is so brutal there. 2 picks on both sides. Dogos again getting the pick. That's amazing there. And it's just the Mercy left to try and stall out the point. Not for long. That's going to be round 1 going to Phantasmal here.
And you know what, K-Wing? I don't feel like outside of the Ultimate game, Ultraviolet was playing that differently. Both of these teams continue to just run at the point, never trying to reset, throwing bodies at it until it worked. If we didn't see Phantasmal start finding those picks early onto Sunless Fiber and start actually using their ultimates, I don't think that goes nearly the same way. But unless Ultraviolet can figure out before fights, plan how they want to go in and figure out their engagements before anything actually happens, I don't see any real differences being made here. That being said, though, this map should work out fantastically for them. On the dive, well is just a playground. Of course, Monk's still going to be on the Roadhog, which creates a little bit of a threat there, but most of these dive heroes are pretty capable of dealing with that Roadhog and avoiding that Pit of Doom.
Yeah, absolutely here. That Pit of Doom, as you mentioned, such a scary part of Ilios Well. It is its namesake, the Well. We're going to see Dogos on this Pharah, such a dominant force in this last round. We're going to see if Dogos can carry it forward here. Fokum gets slept immediately and stunned. That is the life of a main tank, I guess. Just all of the effects going on to Fokum there. Slept, bashed, not bashed, slept, stunned, and then anti-nated, but going to get away, Fokum is. And we're going to see just so much going forward. Fokum going to go low and go down there. Those are 2 picks, really good picks coming in for Phantasmal here. The Resurrect is going to come in, but it's not going to be enough. Their Dogos finding those pickoffs, those mid-air shots. Sunless Fiber can just do nothing about it, it seems.
I mean, I'm looking at this tank lineup, and the fact that Fokum goes down first there just is awful. When you do this dive, you need to go jump, bubble, and then drop away. You need to be using high ground. You need to be using the terrain to your advantage somehow. But if you're just going to take a flat ground fight against a Roadhog, no amount of bubbles is going to save you from that one.
Absolutely. They're going to go around on the right side here. Monk going very low here. Going to pop that E there. That take a breather, but it's not going to be enough. When you get hit with that anti-nade, you can't heal. Here comes Zatanu, though, taking down Fokum there. The picks are coming in here. Zatanu getting 3 there on the Ash, saying, hey, Doghouse might be going this far, but I am no slacker either. And that's another fight win for Phantasmal here.
I mean, everything's just been exemplified by this map right now. Phantasmal have been in the driver's seat ever since the last one. They have a massive ultimate advantage. Not a single player on Ultraviolet has hit their ultimate quite yet. Rainbow just has a Valkyrie. This is not looking good for them. This Gravitic Flux is going to come in, completely ruin their dive, and they have nothing to counter it.
Absolutely, that is the thing. Oh, and there it comes. Dogos just taking down Sunless Fiber, switching to the McCree to even try and counter this Pharah here. Pierre's going to get picked up onto Woodies, though. That Ana is such a good source of healing there. Monkey's going to pop that ultimate. Oh, Monk! Monk!
God.
Monk gets 4. That ultimate's so good. They're popping it at low health, and still it gets the value it needs there. Wow. Amazing job there from Monk, and it's the last fight here for Ultraviolet.
I mean, this is just a disaster. They can go for this Graviton. They don't really have anything to combo with it. Sunless is going to dash through. Maybe they go... No, they don't. They swap on to an Ana instead of the Mercy, so they don't even have the Valkyrie to boost up the Winston or to get to point any faster.
Absolutely.
They just have to deal with all the ultimates on the face.
All the ultimates, and here comes the ult from Dogos. They're going to just shut down this push before it even begins, and that's just it, though, for the members of Ultraviolet there. And that's going to be Dogos just falling into the pit. Phantasmal going to take this map here in a dominant fashion. 1-0 for them.
I mean, the ultimate economy is by far the most notable thing there. Phantasmal just had an iron grip on it the entire time. That comboed with the fact that Ultraviolet were consistently losing players before fights, before they ever really should have been. I don't think it's super great for them that you're losing on both fronts. You're losing before the fight and you're losing after the fight. You're not even really getting a chance to get in for the fight half the time. I need to see cleaner play from them. A lot of the time, yeah, you can play this composition all you want, but I want to see it played correctly. There's a little bit of a misunderstanding in how the Winston Zarya works. We're seeing a good bubble rotation. We're seeing the Winston jump in, get a Zarya bubble, drop their bubble, and then try to get out, but the Winston is not jumping to somewhere correct where they can actually get out from. It's not jumping to a high ground where they can just back away. They're not jumping to a high ground they could drop below. They're not using any walls to try and find cover to buy those extra couple of seconds that you need for those cooldowns to come back up. And I think if they make that change, we're looking at a team that could do a lot better in the neutral game than they are right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on both sides here, you need to look at getting these cleaner fights and getting these fights that are gonna be that are going to start and end very definitively. They're not going to go on for, 20, 30 seconds longer than they should, because especially on those control points, that can be a whole other fight that you just completely miss. So looking forward, I really want to see both of these teams work on getting cleaner fights here.
Now, there's a big question of map pool. Where does this go to? You saw plenty of Chinese dive out of Ultraviolet. The double bubble is very strong, but I mean, Ilios is arguably one of its best maps, especially as far as control points go. The fact that we weren't able to see them take a map with their favorite composition on that composition's favorite map is kind of troubling. And they'll take it over to Temple of Anubis, another great map for double bubble dive. Yeah. But is that actually going to be the solution they need? Maybe. What I want to see them do is set a strong pace on attack here. It's likely Phantasmal just take up the defensive side, which they will. And now with the double bubble dive, you can set a really fast attacking pace. It's a great composition for doing this. Jump to that high ground, bubble, and then drop down off it and let it reset. Look for that cooldown management from these tanks, because without it, I don't see Ultraviolet getting very far.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see that coming in here. Temple of Anubis is such a good map for, you said, that double bubble dive. And, but again, we really need to see sort of better play here from these tanks, sort of that kind of jumping to the high ground, being able to get out when you need to, because we've seen a lot of sort of very risky plays coming in here. But we're going to see that here coming into Temple of Anubis. We're going to see if Ultraviolet can sort of turn this around and start to show some better play and then play that'll help them get their first win here on Temple. We're going to get into this next map here.
You know what else I might want to see here, K-Wing? With 2CP being the map choice, right? You're going over Temple of Anubis. This is a fantastic point to swap over to a Sombra. It gives you almost a guaranteed win condition. All their problems of failing to press Q, all of a sudden you have a guaranteed timer. You get this ultimate, that is when you're going to go in. Your team can sync off of that. It gives you something to rally behind. It gives you a guaranteed win to try and get on these points. It gives you a solid game-winning ultimate. If it's something that Ultraviolet practice, I think this is absolutely where you whip it out. But they seem really fond of this Pharah that didn't really get all that much done for him in the previous round.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see both sides doing some interesting compositions. We're going to see the Hanzo double shield with the Junkrat coming in from Phantasmal, and Ultraviolet with the Genji Pharah with the double bubble dive here. So some interesting compositions, not really a what you would call meta, but we're going to see how they work coming in here. You know, the meta since this patch has been so questionable. We've talked about it as this sort of like quick play meta where it feels like everyone's just kind of throwing random stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So we're going to see if anything here is going to start sticking for either of these teams.
These are just comfort picks. You go to the double shield on defense here because that's what you do on Temple of Anubis. You run it with the Junkrat, there's plenty of damage there. There's not much being thrown at your shields either, so there's plenty of faces in the hide. Focum though, that's a great bubble rotation for him.
Low there, but Douglas is gonna get the pick off onto Pierre there, that far. And Sandu with the trap, the rainbow. No, that is not what you want if you are a Mercy there. Getting hit by the Junkrat trap, that is not good there. That is unfortunate. And we're gonna see the members of Ultraviolet get pushed back here on the attack.
But they've worked their way up to at least that Primal Rage being nearly online. Meanwhile, Phantasmal don't have much to say about that. If they get knocked off this high ground, that's going to be curtains for them.
Absolutely. So that Primal Rage is exactly what they want to be focused on charging up here. And it is the fastest ultimate that's been charged here. But very close here is that Junkrat Riptire here. And Dogga finds the pickoff onto Pierre again there. And Santu, the pickoff onto Rainbow again. I just feel like it's deja vu here. That Mercy going down really early there just spells doom. And especially since it was Santu the one that did it. Getting that Riptire up to 99 and now 100%. That is going to be on the board for them now.
And that's a really scary proposition because as those ultimates come online for Phantasmal, they're going to continue to grow. And all of a sudden, that advantage that Ultraviolet had with being able to grow their ultimates quickly, that just disappears.
Absolutely. Here comes the dive, though. The Primal Rage is going to come in, but it's so much damage there. Pokemon is going to dive onto this backline here, but it's not going to find a lot. They're going to get onto the point here. A lot of picks coming in for them, but Woody's finds a pick off on a Rainbow. That could be big here. Woody's finding 2 picks here. Here comes the Riptire. It's going to find another there. The defense could come back from this here. The Ana going to nano. The Pharah here. The Pierre getting the pick off on his Setu again there. And this could be just a loss here. Woody is going to get dove by this Pharah. It's so important that they go down here. They're going to go down. So it's going to be a scrappy final point, but it's not going to be enough, it seems. It's going to be cleanup. Doghouse getting 2 here. But Supreme Fudge is going to go down here. That Baptiste, such a good source of healing and utility, going to go down here. But the window will stay for a few seconds later. And they're going to clean up this point, giving only 1 tick. Crucially, Babir finds 2 picks there. Anima's going to go down here. The offense does have the closer spawns here. So they could just trickle in. And they might be able to save it here. So we're going to see if they do. Here comes the Nano onto Anima. Going to have that the Gravitic Flux, going to use it. Both the tanks are going to get lifted up here. Karma going to go down, and so is Vocum. And that is just so much time that they used there, the members of Ultraviolet, on a fight that did not get another tick for them.
I mean, we've hit critical mass K-Wing. The ultimates are rolling for Phantasmal, and Double Shield will just choke you out time and time again until Ultraviolet learn to regroup here. They're going to continue to get overrolled. They do have a couple of nice ultimates online that could possibly win them this fight. It's just about getting around that Halt Dragon Strike combo that's so scary.
Absolutely. Here comes the Dragon Strike, though. It's going to go right down the middle and find Pierre. And put a lot of damage in down to Fokum, who's going to go down to Zetu there on the Junkrat. So much damage came in there, and that was amazing there from Dogos on that Hanzo. Find the pickups there, and now it's just going to be Sunless Fiber going to pull out the blade. Rainbow's gone down already. She's going to try and find anything there. Going to go down on from the Junkrat there. This is not good for Ultraviolet here. That is just unfortunate for the both of them. Monk going to find the pickup onto Karma, and it's just going to be no one to touch. And that's going to be round one, sleeping right at the foot of the point, but not touching. That is unfortunate there. And 66% though for Ultraviolet. Phantasmal needs to get 2 ticks here, or Ultraviolet can pull out the win here.
I mean, it's a possibility. The Fuller hold has always been there, but I'm pretty sure I just watched one of the world's harshest rounds of cyberbullying by Phantasmal. Once Sunless whipped out the blade, it was nothing but a wet pool noodle. At that point, Malalia just about had the nano charged up to try and combo with it if they just kept it pocketed. But again, the ultimate economy of Ultraviolet fails them massively. And on nowhere is that going to be more exemplified than on 2CP, where you need ultimates to get that clean fight win, where you need ultimates to roll yourself into the next point. That becomes a real problem. Now on the defense, though, are they going for the same composition is the big question I have. It seems like they want to stick with Zarya Winston, but mechanically and organizationally, this composition is more difficult to play on defense. It's no less effective, but it's a lot harder to decide where Fokum's going to be going in, because as we discussed on Ilios, it became a bit of a problem when they went in and the positioning of the Winston wasn't great, so you weren't able to get the leap cooldown back, and you weren't able to leap back into safety, so we saw him die first in pretty much every single fight. I suspect we're going
to... Are they going to get set up here? I don't even see most of the members of Ultraviolet here on the point. There's only the tanks here on the point, and the Genji. It's 3 of them on the point here. That's not what you want. You have that 45
agreement. Wait 20 seconds.
To get
agreement. Wait 20 seconds.
It doesn't look like Phantasmal are going to be gentlemen here. They're going to just come in and they're going to get what they can. It looks like the members of Ultraviolet are going to just be able to get there before the brunt of this attack is going to come in, but Sunless Fiber is going to get the pickup on Anima there. But Malalia is going to go down here for Ultraviolet, which is such a hard loss there. But the rest are going to go through, and Monk find the pickup onto Sunless Fiber. That is so unfortunate. Your Genji going down is not what you want right now if you're on the defense here, and Rainbow going down as well for Ultraviolet. That is not good for them. Xantu getting 2 hits on the Genji here, and Monk getting another as well, and that's just going to be them taking down Ultraviolet, and they're going to get the 2 picks they need. The Doomfist just going to try and stall out the point for as long as he can here. Sunless Fiber doing whatever they can to try and stall out the point, but it is not going to be enough. That is a clean fight from Phantasmal. They're going to go up 2-0 in this fight.
And I'm seeing a lot of the same issues in map 2 as I did in map 1. They need that pep talk. Start talking about ultimates before fights, during fights, after fights. They need to know what they're running into and what they have, because it seems like it's less a inability to do things during a fight. It's less a mechanical difference. They're playing pretty well individually. It's more so the fact that they're just not taking advantage of what they have before and during the fights. And while Dogos just shuts down a barrage mid-fight, we have to talk about what can Ultraviolet do here? How much can you actually change about the way a team plays? It's really hard to stabilize these kinds of issues, especially after you see them for 2 maps straight. It kind of raises that little bit of concern, like, are they actually going to be able to fix it by the end of the series? It doesn't really seem like it.
Yeah, absolutely. We really have to watch them, and they need, like you said, that halftime pep talk. They're going to need that sort of, all right, we need to be more coordinated. We need to be more deliberate with our ults. We need to use our ults combined. We need to use our ults at specific times and deliberately at the start of a fight or in the middle of a fight when it's winnable at any sense. And like you said, it's going to be a question of how much can they change in this little time, in this halftime that we're going to have. So we will be back in about 10 minutes. So go to the bathroom, get some water, get some snacks. We're going to see if Ultraviolet, after this halftime, are going to be able to bring it back, or if Phantasmal is just going to complete the quick sweep here. We will see you then. And we are back here with Phantasmal and Ultraviolet. Before we went to halftime, we had Phantasmal going up 2-0 against Ultraviolet here. And now we are going to
pop out of chat. That's smart.
We are going to look at whether or not Ultraviolet is going to be able to bring this back, or whether Phantasmal is going to do a quick sweep here.
Chat normally.
All right, so we are going to see if what is going to happen here. We are going to see that. So honestly, on the side of Phantasmal, in the past 2 maps, Dor and I have really talked a lot about, Ultraviolet and what they can do better. But honestly, I think that we do need to look a little bit more at Phantasmal and how amazing of a job that they've been doing. I mean, we've been seeing like some really good play coming out, especially from Doghouse. Doghouse has been just an amazing Pharah, just dominant on the Pharah on Ilios, and then as well going into Anubis. And then also you have Zatanu on the Junkrat, on the Ashe. Just so much that they're doing. All right. So honestly, Dor, what are you thinking about Phantasmal here?
I mean, Phantasmal, I feel like individually they're performing on a similar level to Ultraviolet. It's the team coordination that's just been outstanding from them. And you look at a team that's 0-2, you can tell that's probably where the struggles were coming from. But there have definitely been some big fixes in the past week or so. Their ultimate economy looks good. Their communication has been on point. They're playing their compositions, however jank they are. I mean, given the meta, who can really blame them? They're playing them well. They played the double shield excellently. I saw the Halt Dragon Strike connect. I saw the Halt Accretion connect. It's the stuff like that, those little team plays that really show how good a team can be. Now that we are heading on to King's Row, though, I think it should open up the door for Ultraviolet to come in, maybe try and play a ball composition, mix things up in that direction, try and play something that we haven't seen them on before. But it's going to be pretty difficult for them to actually change the status quo of this game without fixing that ultimate economy that's been the bane of their existence for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get in here to King's Row. And King's Row, there's a lot you can do in King's Row. Usually we've seen a lot of Brawl, a lot of the Ryan Zarya, sort of Lucio comps where the entire strategy is just get that Reinhardt, bubble him, and then speed him into the enemy team and just crash into them like a tidal wave. And I do think we're going to be seeing that as we get into King's Row here. What do you think, Dor?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be Brawl City, the home is Zarya, Goat's Row. You guys call it what you want. You guys know exactly what it is, though. Plenty of spam damage has kind of been the name of the game, though. Running the Junkrat and the Hanzo to break those shields and put as much pressure on the opposing Reinhardt as humanly possible. The Ashe is going to function in a similar function and just be there to put damage onto that shield, not let Anima move forward as much as possible. I do feel, though, that with Phantasmal's composition, they're putting themselves at a similar advantage that they were in previous rounds. It's actually a really good heads-up play from them. Ultraviolet have struggled big time to deal with any sort of spam damage, to get in without losing players. I feel like a Junkrat and a Hanzo are only going to exemplify that and make things more different. We're talking about the tank lineups and all the brawling that we might want to see done, but that's a big if Ultraviolet can actually move in on this point.
Absolutely. Junkrat is just the king of spam here with how many grenades he can throw out and how much damage they do here. They're going to quickly speed in on the Brawl here. Ultraviolet getting a lot of good aggression here, and but Falcon's gonna go down so fast here. Xantu gonna get the pick onto Sunless Fiber as well, doing it so well on this Junkrat. Oh, what a good just mine there on to Pierre, and just an amazing play here from the members of Phantasmal, not freaking out when the members of Ultraviolet just slammed into them, and playing really smart.
Swaps over here, though. It's to full Brawl. They're going May Reaper. They want to close this distance. They did it last time. Now, if Sunless Fiber can just capitalize, connect this wall onto Anima, cut them off away from the team, they can win this.
Absolutely. We're going to see the what happens here. The Mine going to come into the back line, going to just split up everyone, and Pierre's going to go down early. That's not what you want. The wall is going to prevent some aggression from coming in for a little bit, and they're going to get a tick off of it. But here comes the Nano Ryan, such a powerful force, and Bokum going to figure out just how powerful of a force it can be firsthand there. But here comes the Riptide from Xantu, gonna find a pick onto Karma as well. Anima going to start stepping forward here, and just another fight win here for Phantasmal.
And more hero swaps online. Pierre goes over to McCree, Rainbow over to the Moira. We're seeing more and more ultimate charge just chucked straight down the drain. Yes, you're going to have the grab, but they really need to capitalize on this. There's the fear, though, that Supreme Fudge just drops the beat. And then you're in a world of hurt. You're not getting all that much value. Phantasmal will have the ultimates just shut this push down right here and now.
Absolutely, but here comes the wall and get on up.
Oh my god!
All of them on the ground there. That shatter was amazing, and it just shut down the push there. Anima almost just baiting them, just daring the Reinhardt to drop his shield, and when he does, the hammer falls. That was amazing there, and a great play from the members of Phantasmal, and especially Anima there.
I mean, if I'm looking at one thing, it's this grab dragon combo from Phantasmal. Malalia has a sound barrier to counter, but it has to be perfectly timed.
Absolutely. We're going to see what is going to come out here. Here comes the grab, and here comes the dragons. The beat comes out, but it's going to get 2. It's going to get 3. Dogos with that dragon strike just takes down all the members of Ultraviolet, and that's another team wipe for them. That was just incredible.
And it hurts so much because Karma used their Graviton. You wanted to have that Grav Blizzard combo. Usually it's a lot, but in these kind of situations, I would absolutely commit those 2 ultimates. Sunless Fiber now has to do it with no way of actually locking down the opposing team here. You have to push him into that back corner, then pop the Blizzard.
Absolutely. We're going to see what comes out here. The wall going to catch Anima. Still has that shatter. We're going to see the shatter come out again. Anima just having so many amazing shatters here. Gets a 5 with that shatter, and the Blizzard comes out from Sunless Fiber, and here comes Pierre with the Deadeye, gonna get 2 off of it. That could be something here, but Pierre's just gonna come in and get taken down by Dogos. And we're gonna see what the members of Ultraviolet can put together. They still have these fixes. They're going to come in very fast here with Bokum on that ball there. Very quick. They're going to use that Coalesce to push the members of Phantasmal off the point, coming in on all these fast heroes. These heroes you normally see for like stall. But here comes Xantu on the Riptide, gonna take down the Wrecking Ball. Bokum gonna go down, but there's so many picks coming in here on the side of Ultraviolet. We're gonna see what they can do here. Anima going to just be swinging into the grab here, going to get the shatter. Oh my gosh! What? Anima! No! That is not allowed. Monk with the Graviton just to set up a clean full hold there from Ultraviolet, and now Phantasmal. It is their moment. They know what they need to do to clinch the win in this match here. They need to just get more than 71% here on this attack. And Ultraviolet, if they want to stay in it, they have to have the 4 hold here.
I mean, K-Wing, let's not discredit what Phantasmal just did. That was a phenomenal hold. They're just iron grip on the ultimate economy. They never let it go. It was a stranglehold the entire time, comboing just enough to get away with what they needed to as well. Ultraviolet continuing to drop ultimates. The Blizzard was thrown into the backline, got next to no value. The Graviton was used as a weird counter Graviton that didn't really work out. Ultraviolet are making a lot of mistakes, but I've got to honestly hand it to Phantasmal. They're playing incredibly clean, and they're not giving any mistakes for Ultraviolet to even capitalize on. So a lot of props to them. They're going to come in on the attack with a Pharah Genji. They just want to spam their way through this the way they have most of the other maps.
Absolutely, the Pharah Genji does have a lot of spam here, so we're going to see a lot of really good ultimate combos. We're going to see the Grab Barrage. We're going to see the Nano Blade. We're going to see a lot of cool ultimates that are going to come up on the side of Phantasm. A lot of cool combos that can result in some really flashy plays here. On Ultraviolet, they're going to try and hold with the double sniper and the rush comp with a Zen Baptiste on the support line. So we're going to see if they're going to do it coming in to this first fight here. We're going to watch Pierre and see if they can take down this Fire Mercy in the sky. That is going to be so crucial, because if that Fire Mercy gets a lot of value, as Dogos has just been doing, for this entire time. They're just going to be shut down here, and so much aggression coming in here. The pick's coming in for Dogos, and it's going to be even. Pierre gets 2 here. Supreme Punch is going to get the res up onto Zatnu, but it's such a scrappy fight here. We're going to see what's going to happen. Pierre going to throw out the dynamite. It's just going to be a duel in this hotel here. And it does look like the members of Ultraviolet may hold here, but Zatnu gets to pick up on the Sunless Pierre. And on Pierre as well. Both the defense are just going to go down here, and the points going to start ticking up. The tank's just getting pushed back here. There's just nothing that they can do. They're just going to be held back here. Everything's just going wrong for them. And the point is just slowly ticking up here. They're going to see if there's anything they can do, and it doesn't look like it. They're just going to be shattered and done. Phantasmal.
And with some real emphasis, Phantasmal are going to put an exclamation point at the end of that. Of course, they're still playing for the 4-0. Things aren't done yet. If I'm Ultraviolet, I want this one for pride, if nothing else. But continually, it has always just been the spam. The Pharah came over top and forced out Immortality Field. It forced out everything they had. And with that goes the series as well.
Absolutely. So that is just going to be complete. That is going to be another good another good map for Phantasmal here, going up 3-0. Dor, how you doing there, man? You doing good?
We're a little topsy-turvy. The beat team reverse sweep didn't come in and the robot broke. But other than that, I'm feeling great. I'm watching Phantasmal play some excellent Overwatch. And with that, I need to see Ultraviolet step it up as well. They've been going not so back and forth. It's kind of something you expect from a team. How well can you adapt over a series versus something a team is playing? Especially at this tier, you can expect a lot of adaptation. You need to know adaptation because you're playing against teams that are playing jank compositions. They're playing Pharahs and Junkrats on every single map. Things that aren't necessarily the most meta are in harmony, and there will absolutely be the bane of a team if they don't learn to shut them down. It's those classic things that this level of player struggles to deal with, whether it be a Pharah, whether it be a Junkrat spam, whether it be a Hanzo spam. It's hard to punish the value that they're getting, but at the same time, you have to be able to. You can't continually just get shut down by spam.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to see what we have here on our next map, which is going to be Rialto. That is Ultraviolet's pick, and they're going to try and get this net. They're going to try and get their only point here. They're going to try and make it 3-1 on Rialto here. What needs to happen for them to do it?
On Rialto, I'm looking probably for a brawl composition. We probably go back to the Reinhardt, maybe a Reinhardt Diva. We could go to Winston Zarya Dive, but I don't think Ultraviolet did a particularly good job of capitalizing on Phantasmal. They're going to run whatever the hell they want. It's been their flavor of the week. They just play what they're good at, and it's getting them plenty of value. However, I will absolutely 100%, without a doubt in my mind, expect the Pharah out of Dogos. I mean, it's Rialto. It's a perfectly fine map for it. It's continuing to win you maps in and of itself. Dogos has done a fantastic job manning it up. The supports have been doing a great job of keeping it alive. Tank lineup is what I really want to watch here from Phantasmal, though, because when we head into the escort parts of maps, we haven't actually seen them so far. You have to keep that in mind. King's Row, we only saw an attack point. When it comes to escort, that ultimate economy becomes a lot more important for Ultraviolet to solve, because you need to be able to win it with a couple and then have a couple more for the next fight and a couple more for the next fight so you can keep that cart moving. Phantasmal haven't had that issue, but they also haven't had to really deal with it because we haven't been to an escort. So whether they pick a tank lineup that's great for escort and whether they're able to actually maintain their ultimates and push this point forward continuously are going to be probably the two biggest things to watch on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are getting into Rialto here. We are going to have we're going to have Ultraviolet starting off on the attack here, and we're going to have Phantasmal on the defense here. We're going to see what comps are coming out here. We're seeing some flashes of pulled pork from the attack that Arisa Sigma, but also some Reinhardt. So we're going to see what they do here. We do see double sniper on both sides here, so we're going to see how these comp differences are going to factor into performance here.
I mean, you want to put money in? I mean, doggos. Is he actually locking in this Hanzo? Really? What an interesting pick. After you found someone, maybe he's just bored of the Pharah. Maybe it was making it a little bit too easy for him to win. He's got to go over to something that has to aim at least a little bit more here. And you know what? You can't really fault Phantasmal. They've been playing excellently. There's a couple things that worry me right now. It's the fact that they don't really have any fight-winning combos. You can land the Gravitic Flux Dragon. It's a little bit finicky, that being said. Ultraviolet locking in something a little bit more standard with a double sniper of their own. But for them, it's all about getting that Reinhardt forward and in, making space for this Widowmaker. Pierre, I feel like, has really been the highlight for Ultraviolet tonight. They haven't found all that much success, but when it comes to the Ashe, when it comes to the Widow, I think this guy can clutch it out.
Absolutely, and we're going to see if Pierre's going to be able to clutch it out here on that Widowmaker. But oh, doggone! Just getting the early pick onto Sunless Fiber there. That is amazing. Even through that double shield there, just finding that pick is amazing there. And both these tanks are going to go low for Ultraviolet. Karma going to go down as well. And it's just going to be Monk pushing over the bridge and just pushing them back into spawn, it seems.
There is a highlight for this, though. Pierre goes back over to the Ashe, which is a good pick for him. But more importantly, Rainbow is nearing the Amplification Matrix. It's going to be the first ultimate up in the server. If they can capitalize on it, they could see this cart rolling forward, K-Wing.
Absolutely, they're going to pop it. And the anti-nade is going to come out as well. They're going to just throw out the healing, but so smart here from Phantasmal. They're just going to just leave the line of sight of the window, and they're not going to have to take any damage from it. Here comes the Dragon Strike, and he's going to take down Malaya, as well as Fokum going to go down from Anima there. And that is just something you cannot have happen if you're Ultraviolet. That card is going to stop right there.
And it's the same exact thing that we saw over on Temple of Anubis. We've hit critical mass. We're watching Phantasmal rack up the ultimates. They're going to be able to roll fight after fight after fight. From basically here on for the next probably 2-3 minutes, Ultraviolet are going to be fighting down at ultimates. They're going to have to clutch these fights out from big plays. I'm looking at Pierre. I'm looking at Fokum and that Shatter as well.
Absolutely. That Shatter is going to probably decide whether or not this card is going to push forward much further, going really aggressive. Here comes the Shatter, gonna get 3, and it's going to just be too much damage coming in onto folks. He's going to go down there, but here comes the Blade, going to get Nano. A Sunless Fiber going to get 2 there. That's big for Sunless Fiber, going for that 2 picks onto that Ana. We're gonna see if it's going to result in anything. The Supercharger coming out from Karma here, just going to charge up these members of Ultraviolet even more here, and the card's gonna push forward here, but I do think we're gonna see a recontest from Phantasmal.
And that recontest is relatively scary, but it's not backed by any ultimates. Ultraviolet did a really good job of dealing with that, re-engaging with the Nano Blade. If they can just get this card through, they are looking in a fantastic position. In fact, I'd say the best one they've looked all series.
Absolutely a very good position here. They do end up losing Fokum early, but still, with those closer spawns, he's going to be back so quickly here, and they're going to be able to just take these fights so fast here. Xantu is going to go down, but get rezzed immediately here, and the Reinhardt is just going to be able to push forward and get so aggressive here. We're going to see what happens. The Bob is going to come out from Pierre, and here comes the Dragon Strike. Not going to find anything, but it's going to draw out the Immortality Field here from Rainbow, who does have that amplification matrix again. That could change a lot coming in here if it's put in a place where you can't really get out of its line of sight. We're gonna see what comes out of here, but we're gonna see the Gravitic Flux going to lift Pierre up and slam them down. Oh, but the pin coming in on Onwa going to take them down, but it's just might not be enough here. Gonna get rezzed immediately, and it's going to be the members of Phantasmal cleaning up the point.
You know what, though? That results in an ultimate advantage for Ultraviolet. It got really sloppy at some point there, but the big thing I'm looking at is the fact that Malalia and Sunless Fiber managed to charge up Nano Blade in just one fight. That is a huge win for Ultraviolet. If they continue to not be afraid to press their ultimate buttons and get into the backline, I absolutely think this team could cruise right on into B. As for counterplay, we could see Zatnu try and throw out a Bob, put that in to deny the Genji the space, but it's actually going to be really hard to deny Sunless Fiber of this blade. Up it goes!
Absolutely, and here it comes. Gonna get Dogos immediately, and Blank as well, who came in for that res onto Dogos, who went down very quickly, but Anima going to take it down. Sunless Fiber, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Zatnu going to take down Pierre, though, but Pierre going to burn a Woodies, and both the Ananas are going to go down here. It's going to be really close. Remember, these spawns here are going to be advantageous for the defenders, but I don't know if it's going to matter here. There's an Ashe up top on that high ground. We're going to see who's going to get the better of the Step Baptiste or that Ashe. The Ashe going to get the pick off here, and it's going to be picked coming in for Phantasmal. Both the main tanks are going to go down, and they're going to actually stabilize so close to that second point, but it's not going to get them any increased time. This isn't horseshoes. Close, it doesn't count.
Not only in horseshoes and hand grenades, they've got a couple of nice ultimates though that are going to give them a ton of space. The Supercharger as well as the Amplification Matrix, both fantastic for pushing teams back. I'm looking for Dogos to do the exact same thing he's been doing with his Dragon the entire time though, and just stop the engagement, stop the Reinhardt from going in or cut him away from his supports. Been doing a fantastic job of that so far, but if you go down early, you can't be doing all that much.
Aggressive Gravitic Flux going to come in, draw out the Immortality as well, and here comes the Dragon Strike, gonna split this team in half. And that Orisa is so in danger here, and no one's coming in to save them, and Diana's just going to jump off trying to save herself, and they're just going to try and reset here and not feed any more ult charge, as they need to get a contest quick. There's about 30 seconds left, and they need this contest here.
It's now or never for Ultraviolet. You're at the end of your leash. You're down 3-0, already looking for a little bit of pride to take home in this match. They've got a couple of ultimates to do it with here, K-Wing. All they need is to capitalize on this Bob, but they won't get to use it!
No, they won't get to use the Bob. Pierre's gonna go down. Going to have to come back in the middle of this fight. The Bongo's gonna go down really early here. They need to just push forward and get the touch. They are going to get the touch here. Fokum going to get the nano, going to be able to push forward even further. Just so aggressive. We're gonna get subbed, but the Bob's gonna wake him up. That's so important. That's so unfortunate for them. Dog's gonna go down, gonna get the pick here, but the nano onto the Sigma, going to allow him to take it down Fokum here, and it's just gonna be cleanup on the point for Phantasmal. They are going to put a stop to this here. Pierre's gonna get picked up on the Dogus, but not sure it's going to matter to them. There's still people on the point here. Pierre going to get the pick up on the Monk, though. That's important. Rainbow's going to go down, however, and that's just going to be the healing gone and clean up there. Phantasmal putting a stop to this push, 94.4 meters, and we have the end point for this match going to come in, and that is the point, 94.4 meters. And that is the binary. Are they going to get it or are they not? If Phantasmal pushes past it, we're going to see that 4-0. But if they don't, Ultraviolet will take this map, and they will lose this, but 3-1.
You know what though, K-Wing? That was a significant improvement from Ultraviolet. I'm actually blown away. Once they got onto Escort, it seemed like everything just turned up better. They were using their ultimates. They were using their ultimates relatively efficiently. They weren't using too many at a time. They always had them up for fights. Now we're looking at a different issue for them. It's the fact that they're not being proactive enough with them, but that's much less of a concerning issue than not using them at all. That was significantly better than everything that we saw earlier out of Ultraviolet, and I want to see them continue to play like this on the defense. Phantasmal, of course, still looking to lock up a 4 series, but when Ultraviolet are looking as better as they are, I don't think that's as guaranteed as it used to be, K-Wing. They're coming out the same Sigma Roadhog composition. It hasn't necessarily been the most consistent thing. With Ultraviolet on the double shield, I think they might just have the sustain along with the Junkrat Hanzo. The Phantasmal might struggle to actually push forward around these corners.
Absolutely. We're going to see what the result of this is. We're going to see whether or not this Junkrat is going to get the value that it wants to get here. And we're going to see what happens here as we get into this final round here of Rialto. As the double shield gets set up, and this Junkrat is going to be raining destruction down on the members of Phantasmal here, and they're just going to have so much damage going on to them, and immediately they're going to get pushed back here. But Malaya, the Ana, going to go down there. That is not what you want Ana is such a good source of healing, and you don't want to have just one healer because there's so much pressure onto them. And speaking of so much pressure, Rain's gonna go low, and Zanu's going to get the pick off there. No healers on the side of Ultraviolet, and that is just going to be, and they're just gonna fall apart. If you have no healers, you are just not going to last long in Overwatch.
Yeah, Ultraviolet really wanted to hold that point longer. There was a lot of time potential to be taken away, but Phantasmal pushed the high ground beautifully. Ultraviolet gave it away a little bit too early there. Phantasmal walk over it. Monk drops off the high ground, creates some real problems for the back line. Ultraviolet might get a recontest in here, but they don't really have all that much to do it with unless they can get Sunless Fiber's tire online.
They do get the tire online, and we're going to see how much it's going to do. Pierre getting the pick off on the dog is going to be amazing there. And Zanu's going to go down to the tire as well. That tire going right over the top. No one even expects it. And Sunless Fiber is going to get the pick off onto Monk as well, and onto Anima as well. So much damage. Sunless Fiber coming in a clutch there on that Junkrat, on the J Silly. And he's going to help his team stabilize.
Doing a great job. Now, if you could just charge up those ultimates, those ones that are about 90%, maybe get your Dragon Strike online. I'm feeling really good about where Ultraviolet are at. They've played that recontest amazingly. Now you need to come in and be proactive in this fight. Don't let Phantasmal take the driver's seat.
Absolutely. You need to be aggressive here, but here comes the Gravitic Flux. Is going to lift everyone up in the air, draw out that immortality, and everyone's so low there. Pierre kick down Monk, though. It's going to be a scrappy fight on the point. 3 meters left in them, and oh no! Oh no, Anima gets trapped in that trap there while the Dragon Strike's happening, and that is just going to be a world of hurt for him there, and that is going to be, again, the members of Ultraviolet stabilizing here with 1.5 minutes left.
The only scary thing is the Nano Blade, but you can get past that by using your tire to try and take it. Blank, what are you doing back here,
Pierre?
Oh no,
No,
it's not like for another 10 seconds or so. Until then, look for the Nano Blade. It's still the real threat in this fight.
Absolutely. Blank is going to be able to evade the sights of Pierre there. And we're going to see, Zatnu getting 2 picks with this Nano Blade, 3 picks with the Nano Blade, 4.
Oh my god.
Picks with the Nano Blade, just going to team kill there. Doggos going to help out and get 1 pick as well, but a good, clean team fight there off of that Nano Blade from Zatnu. Amazing job there.
It's good stuff, but now you're worried if you're Phantasmal. You dumped everything in that fight. Yeah, you have a Transcendence, but that's not going to save you from both a Gravitic Flux and a tire. I'm pretty worried. This is a good fight for Ultraviolet to be taking.
Doggos just barely able to get back and climb that wall to make sure that he does not get trapped behind enemy lines there. And we're gonna see this Riptire gonna come in from on high, gonna try and find the members. Woody's gonna go down there on that Ana, going to find that pick there, and here comes the Transcendence, going to try and keep the members of Phantasmal up here for this fight. The Immortality going to come down, but Monk with that whole hog is going to be able to push everyone out of it, as well as just take it down as well. Phantasmal getting the picks they need here, and it's going to be getting really close to what they need to get that payload to 3.5 meters left, and the contest going to come in, and it's just going to be so close for them, but it's not going to be enough. It's going to be Phantasmal taking this 4-0.
And as much as I want to hand it to Ultraviolet that they've improved over tonight, they really have significantly better on that final map. I think both you and I can agree. Phantasmal just look unstoppable right now. I don't
look at this blade.
You've got DPS popping off like Doggos and Zatnu. I mean, hell, like with the Nano Blade, get yourself a couple style points on the way out. Ultraviolet offers up some promising things. I'm looking at their DPS line. I thought they did fantastic.
Absolutely.
Both of them came up with big plays. It's just being able to keep the team alive a little bit longer, being proactive with your ultimate game. Now that you're actually pressing those Q buttons, I think it's just the order and timing in which you do them. And you're looking at a team that absolutely could springboard up into higher echelons of harmony. Let's talk more about Phantasmal, though, with a 4-0. That's going to give them their first win of the season. Huge congrats to them. And I'd say absolutely deserved. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. That was such a deserved win there. Everyone on Phantasmal looked amazing there. Just especially those DPS. You had Zatnu and you had Just an amazing performance there on the Genji, and just much to talk about. The Genji, the Pharah, just an amazing job there by Phantasmal.
Huge congratulations. Now, I've got a big question for you, K-Wing.
Hmm.
What do you think, or who do you think, rather, is going to be your man of the match here? Because I
Ooh.
think it has to be one of the DPS of Phantasmal for me. There's honestly a world where I give it over the DPS of Ultraviolet, because I think the DPS here were really the highlight to watch. Big plays all around, but Zatnu really won my heart there with that blade.
Hmm. Yeah, I do have to agree that Zatnu did amazing, but I'm going to give it to. It's a tough question, but I am going to agree to you and give it to Zatnu there. Just an amazing performance. That blade just really did win me over. That Nano Blade catching 5 people was just an amazing performance, and you'll love to see it. Honestly, you'll love to see it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, though, with that MVP handed out, that is all we have for tonight. Your Harmony match over 4-0 to Phantasmal. Stuff for both teams, though. Keep an eye out for them in the future. Of course, there's plenty more Overwatch Tranquility this week. Same time, same place. You know exactly where to catch us. Ladies and gentlemen, for both K-Wing, Juke, and I on the production team, though, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful night.
Thank you.